I'll change it later. Hi, Facebook. Sorry, don't mean to be late. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm James Kronenberger.
And I'm Candace Hudson.
Hey, Candace.
We're going to have a protest in front of the State House.
On the corner of South High and State.
Yeah. And you can bring your signs with your loved ones, pictures on it, however you want to decorate your signs. Then
and if you don't have a loved one, join us anyways.
Yeah, just for support.
We need support. 10 or 15 people will not cut it.
So that is September 13th, 11 to 2. Mark your calendars. It is a Wednesday, but we get a lot of traffic on that day. Also, we are going to be having a are we going to call it a fair?
Speakers, of course.
Yeah. So we're going to have that. We're just putting it together now. We actually just got our date for it. So that's going to be October 7th, 1 to 5 p.m.
And Candace is your main speaker that night.
Yeah.
That day.
Oh, Lord. Lord, help us all.
Yeah, it was like when Judge Banneker pulled you up on the stage and you weren't planned for it.
I bet my face was every color of
I got pictures of it someplace.
I have video of it.
But I talked to Banneker beforehand to do that.
So as we discussed last week, there's people that are.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. So
please share this video as well and join our YouTube channel. I'm sorry for cutting off.
That's all right.
The YouTube channel is under James Kronenberger, Kronenberger. I have two. The one that's got around 600 members, please join it. It's under Hope for the Community. We're doing quite a few videos on there, and we want to get up to 1,000. Then our group can start getting paid for the videos.
Yes. My husband's going to be calling in 3 minutes. We're going to talk about what happened when he went to his caseworker when his caseworker, I guess, got him about his parole home plan. And we're just going to chit chat and see what's going on.
Don't mind me.
Are you comfortable?
I'm trying to get comfortable.
Okay, so the purpose of the bill, the parole reform bill, is to reduce prison populations, streamline the current structure of the Ohio Adult Parole Board, set reasonable expectations for parole for which an inmate can feasibly work towards during incarceration, to be rightfully rewarded for rehabilitation, and to equalize parole opportunities, release remedies for all prisoners while maximizing the savings to the Ohio taxpayers.
It's around $35,000 per year for each OLA prisoner, and also it goes up to close to $1 million for those that are chronically ill, such as life-threatening heart attacks, open heart surgery, hospice. So it could go up to $1 million per individual easily.
Yes. So the specific goals that we seek the courts: establishment of an appeal process for prisoners who have met requirements for parole release, yet denied parole without just cause; reduction in the cost of prisons in Ohio by fair and just reduction in prison population by an efficient and equally administered parole system; a system of review of the functioning of the Ohio Adult Parole Board; revision of the Ohio Adult Parole Board structure to ensure oversight and fair representation of the interests of the families of both victims and offenders; to specify clear and equitable legal justification for parole decisions; to release the offender and to limit cause for which the parole board may return a prisoner to prison, with a goal towards reentry success and reduction in prison costs; to make available to all prisoners, regardless of the date of sentencing, release from prison and equal opportunity to release options and community control sanctions.
This will also affect new law prisoners that have to see the parole board as well.
Yes.
But those that was before 1996, which is called the new law. I don't know if people know what truth in sentencing was. It was in 1995. The Senate and the House passed a law that in 1996 it would take effect that those that are like myself, I would have done 3 years. And a lot of people would have done half the sentence, if not a lot less. The only ones that it wouldn't affect was people that had to see the pro board. They're still going to be screwed just like they were.
Some longer,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Like Bailey, he got locked up in 1970. Mike Bailey. If you're from Ohio, say Ohio next to your name so we have some idea. I think somebody's watching. It's something you could help us with. Emails, phone calls. So there's always something you can do.
Okay. Here's my hubby. We're still changing a few things in
You got to
the
hit the
bill.
arrow.
I know, but you got to wait for the thing to play. And
Oh yeah, that lady gets on my nerves. Hold on just a minute, folks.
Waiting for the 5-minute recording.
Yeah, that lady sounds sexy, but she gets on my nerves.
Hello. Are you ready? Putting you on speaker, so if you can't hear me, you gotta let me know. Okay? All right. Okay, so today we have Dwayne Hudson on the phone, and I'm gonna act like I don't know him. It's while I interview him.
But we know you do.
So Shiloh is asking, will the bill address this one? This one isn't for you, Dwayne. Will the bill address life without parole at all?
We asked Beverly to add it to it, Shallow. So yes,
Okay.
it'll be for first-time offenders. The whole bill is basically for first-time offenders and one victim.
Okay, so Mr. Hudson.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
How long have you been incarcerated?
Going on approximately 30 years. It'll be official in August.
August, it'll be 30 years. And how old were you when you went into the system?
17.
Turn it up a little bit if you can.
Yeah, 17 years old.
You're gonna have to speak a little louder.
17 years old.
So what was it like going in as a juvenile?
It was a whole lot of unknown. It was just the unknown. Fear of the unknown. It was a lot of fear.
How much has changed?
Now, to me, it's a mental institution now. It's like an insane asylum.
Mm-hmm.
So it changed, like, I done watched it change probably like 3 different times where the transition, I guess it was a transition coming into what it is now, because it's like an insane asylum now. Like, literally.
What about the technology with all the tablets now?
Like,
Do you think it's a good or a bad thing that they have the tablets?
like, it's like a blessing and a curse. Like, of course you want entertainment, but ultimately at the end of the day, the way the culture is now, tablets is bad. And it's bad because it distracts one from working on, you know what I'm saying? The entertainment side is great, but for this to be deep in what you call rehabilitation and correction, it's going backwards. It's going backwards fast.
Yeah.
It's going backwards fast. So what's going to be out of prison, I predict within 10 years, it's just going to be a whole lot of head cases coming out of prison. That's what, like, for for real. And I ain't trying to shame nobody because I know I got my mental defects as well. But like, you got some real lives, like, for lack of a better term, but that's what these people call it. They say they be on demon time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's really crazy. And as we see, we just had a murder, like what the day.
Yeah, so when you first went in, they didn't have tablets or the JPay emailing system.
No.
It was either snail mail, and also there were like really no, you couldn't call a cell phone back then.
No.
So
Right.
if you didn't sit by the phone at your house with your home phone, you missed the phone call.
Right.
Also the packages, like you weren't able to just go and get on your computer and order a package. We had to, at that point, they were only allowed to have like a certain what was it, certain pounds or something.
Yeah.
And
30 pounds, I believe.
Yeah, and then back then it was all the tunas came in cans, vegetables came in the cans, so the boxes were a lot heavier. So we'd have to have them weighed. Then you'd have to figure out what to take out and then weigh it again, and it was a mess. A mess.
How many pounds was allowed?
I don't remember either.
They were 30 pounds back then.
Was it 30 pounds?
Yes.
That's why I was saying. That's why I was thinking 30 to 40 pounds.
And then they went to the vendors where only vendors could do it, and they ripped off the families.
Yeah.
This is my gritty, but I'm talking about 50.
You thought it was 50 pounds? No.
Yeah.
And then we would have like.
He's right about it at first. It was 50, then it went down to 30.
Was okay. Because I just remember like you'd go in with this huge box and then you'd have to keep taking stuff out. And then they would be like, well, we can't ship this because your box is too big. So then you're scrambling to find another box. It was a mess. I wish that we could order from like Walmart or something like that. And
they may be able to this year.
Or have it where we can send in their own food again like that. But we'll see. So in 30 years, that you've been in, Mr. Hudson, how important are visits to you, family support and things like that?
Oh, that's my lifeline. It's vital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, visits is just having that support. That stopped things from getting dark.
Do you feel like family support kind of falls off? I mean, I think that's for everybody.
Yeah, most definitely.
People die off.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely has on my part.
So how many times have you been to the Pro Board?
Been to Pro Board twice.
Well, he's not very
Once
good
in
at
2010
it.
and once in 2018.
Yeah. And so and you're getting ready to go again this month. So what's the process for somebody who may have a loved one getting ready to go for the first time? What's the process?
I got this right. You said for someone who has a loved one going for the first time, you talking about someone on the street?
Yeah, that may be watching or listening.
Well, I don't know. I can't possibly get nobody no advice like that. But tell them, let me see. Just listen. Just listen and just try to assist. Try to assist. You know what I'm saying? Your beloved friend or family member the best way you can. You know? And be patient with them. Because,
Yeah, but I'm talking about like when you go in, a lot of people think that the Pro Board members is just sitting at this table and you walk in and talk to them. That's not how it is anymore.
Oh, so you want me to explain the process of what the parole board looks like now? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, excuse me, I didn't understand the question. You go in, you talk to them on video screen. So when you go in there, there's gonna be a camera pointed at you on a tripod, and that's what it was with me. I don't know what it's gonna be like now. And the screen, it's gonna be a big screen in front of you with parole board members in their office or just in room at wherever location they at. They went all at the same location. There's all in different spots. Like this person being to the copy or how.
Yeah, so one of my friends, I just talked to her last night, and she told me that her friend went to the parole board in May, and he was a juvenile lifer, and she said that they had to continue his hearing for 6 weeks. They went through the whole process and then said, we don't have enough members, so we have to redo the hearing in 6 weeks.
Goes to Cobra then. Automatically Cobra if there's not enough hearing officers.
Oh, that's what it is? Okay. Well, then he must have went to Cobra. She must not know that then.
One thing for sure is this thing for certain, I'm excited about going to get the process. I also thought about that. I thought about that it's a possibility they might continue me.
Mm-hmm. So then, remember how we were talking about, they said that you guys weren't allowed to parole to girlfriends or wives that you married inside? Or they told me that was their policy now. What did your case manager say when you went in? Or do you want to talk about that?
He told me I can parole anywhere. He said I can parole to any family member. I can parole to my wife.
Because it's not a policy.
It was their policy for that day.
Yeah, probably.
Like said that. Yeah, we know everybody be on the same page. Most definitely. They cannot be on the same page.
Well, I think that the halfway houses, there's not enough room, first of all, and you can't parole somebody homeless.
They do now.
Yeah, so I mean, they're going to put them where they can go, but basically they're not going to, well, I guess they can, but parole them homeless.
They're God, pretty much the God and jury.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, not over right. You ain't got no more questions.
Nope, no more.
Well, one thing I want to say is that it was it's a shame to see how staff is still prepared, because the case manager I was just dealing with in LBH, he didn't know what was going on. Like, that was kind of sad to see that by me in 2023 in prison with all the technology and all the way it's being operated now. Like, you and the staff, like, they don't have nothing to do. So why can you not know these procedures and what's going on? Like, you don't do nothing for real. Like, literally.
Right.
Like, I think the most.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And lady gets on
training or something, like that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a surprise. That was a big surprise to me to see that he was ill prepared. But I'm not speaking for all the case managers here, because I got to do the staff on this. So this is my main goal this week, starting tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming to our podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Yeah. You You're welcome. How you doing? And I want to say hi to everybody. Everybody, peace.
Now he talks loud.
Yeah.
He's our
Thank you for using
co-anchor.
GTL.
Folks,
He was eating. I think we got him
Right.
right at his eating.
Dwayne's got a book that he put out, and I have one that's going to be published, but I think we should put something together on preparing for the parole board and how to advocate for your loved ones. I think
Yeah.
that's a big question people do have.
Definitely.
If you have any questions, please ask it, and Candace will get the answer for you.
And if any of you are vendors and you want to come to any of the conferences or fairs that we have, please get in contact with James or I, and you can set your table up.
Right. And we're asking for a donation for it to help cover the conference. We also have hope for the communities having a conference in August, someplace on the west side of Columbus, and we'd like to have you at all of our events.
Mhm.
We have more to add here, but don't forget our YouTube channel. It's pretty important, folks. We need to get up to 1,000 people. We're at 600 now, well, 558. Again, that's under James Kronenberger, KR Community is the one that we're doing most of our videos on.
Yeah.
And if we raise $1,000, Candace agreed to be in a bikini.
No, Candace didn't agree to anything like that.
Oh, but I agreed to the tutu that one time.
But James will wear a tutu,
With pants on.
please.
Yeah, I don't have the legs. Plus I'm 60. So ask away, folks. There is steps on preparing for a parole hearing, and Candace probably knows some of it better than I do. There's a family hearing that you can have, I think, 3 people attend plus
Yeah,
an
there's
attorney.
3 people that are allowed, and it has to be done 60 days prior to when they actually go. So mine was scheduled for May 1st since my husband goes in June.
Is it all by video now, or?
Yep.
Because I know that they used to come out to Summit County, Calgary County, Franklin County, which is the main one is, but the parole board is moving now, so everything is going to be by video.
Yes, it's either video, you do it by Zoom video or Zoom call.
Right.
The last time that I physically went to the board was when we went to the board with that victim.
Victim.
I don't
Kinda remember.
I don't want to mention her name.
No, we're not going to. We need to keep people, where we don't give out their names. Our trust is very important when you're doing this.
She had invited us to go because she was a victim and she wanted our organization to see how victims are treated if they are for their offender being released.
Right. And in that case, she forgave.
Yeah.
We'll say that. And it's nice when people do forgive because that's a healing process begins.
Mm-hmm. So we went in support of her. And I think as soon as she walked in, do you remember us going now?
Yeah, because it was with Ron Nelson, the pro board member.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I think as soon as we walked in, she felt defeated and she just sort of sat back and she didn't want to talk anymore. So we got a lot of information.
Plus, you cannot, when you go for those hearings, even family hearings, don't believe a word he says, but present, do the presentation, bring the facts why your loved one should be released. I would like to explain the different, what COBRA is and a full board hearing. COBRA, your loved one will go to COBRA if you do not have enough pro board members there, which I think is 7 or not, I think it's 7 pro board members. Then it goes to automatic COBRA, and that could take 6 weeks up to 2 months. A full board hearing is
It
when
can take up to a year.
Yeah, full board hearing is when the victim and the prosecutor requests it, when they are opposed to the release of that individual.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens more than it should. The prosecutor already presented his case in court and should have nothing to do with the parole hearing.
And I think we have something about that in the bill, if I remember correctly, don't we?
Yes, I don't remember exactly. we won't pass the proposal out now, but once we get the final draft, Beverly's adding life without parole, going home to the wife. Of course, if we have to, we're going to have to negotiate. Life without parole will not be negotiated. But going to your wife's house, that could be, because at least they're getting out.
Yeah. There are certain things that we will absolutely not negotiate with on this bill, but we also have things that are put in the bill purposely.
I believe it says you cannot get no more than 1 5-year flop, if I remember correctly, or they can't flop you more than 5 years.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 5-year flop, or continuance, as the parole board corrected us one time.
And I think we also put in there that the victim could not keep testifying, and not to say anything bad about a victim. Of course, we don't want victims at all.
Because what else would they have to add? They already spoken.
Their
from the
story
parole board.
can change, and
Right.
that's how we feel.
And getting to an appeal of the parole board, the only way you can appeal it is if you have something new to add to it. That's the only way a prisoner can appeal it. But most people don't know you can file a grievance against the parole board. Not that that's going to help, but at least leaving a paper trail, and that could help in the future. So.
And then the full board hearings are live streamed.
Not yet.
They're
Will
not?
be. I don't think they are, unless if that happened recently.
I believe they are.
We don't want it to be live streamed where anybody could see it, because then you're going to get all these people writing letters opposing a person's release. We want to keep it on file so that the prosecutor and the individual, the prisoner, can see it to prove what was said.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's live streamed to everybody, you're going to get negative letters for people.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's live streamed even to the guys on the Ohio
prisoners.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
bad.
Yeah, we don't want that. And I think we had something in our proposal about videotaping it for the
We
security.
did. We had something about it being videotaped, and then they did it their way.
They took certain parts of our proposal and added it to the juvenile bill, which doesn't do crap. Also to a couple of the other bills. They took certain parts out, and we know it was from our proposal.
Yeah. Well, because when we first with the parole board reform, we met with everybody. We met with the attorney general. We met with the governor's office. We met with any senator or House representative that would listen to us.
Nobody denied us for the hearing either.
Yeah. Nice shoes.
So this is exciting, folks. But like we said, our protest is coming up. We need 40 plus. It'd be nice. When I first started out, which was 13 years ago, we were getting over 100 people per protest. Mm-hmm. So who's willing to come to our protest?
There was a couple that said they would.
Yeah. I don't care if you're in a nursing home, we'll roll you there.
And we have had people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
We definitely have, out in the cold, guys, and ready to tackle the world.
It will energize you. We're going to have Candace as our spokesperson with the news media. My days are over. Candace does a great job handling the news. It was like they followed us around for at least a year.
Yeah, I had a microphone on me, but they weren't with me at all times. So I had a microphone on me for the news, and we were walking around the state house. They could hear everything we were saying.
Yeah, well,
I completely forgot.
Yeah, I know, and her language wasn't the best.
Was not the best. Not the best at all.
But we weren't talking about legislators behind their backs.
No.
We did that in front of their faces.
No, we did not.
So
we used to go 2-3 times to the state house every week, and we would sit in this one hallway where they were coming from the other building.
They were coming from committee.
Okay. And that's how we got a lot of gained a lot of our support.
We can't say enough about Herschel Craig neither. He's been a big supporter of us. He shows up to every event that we have. And I wish more legislators was like him and then before him. Then we have certain people, which I won't mention their names. I should, though, publicly, but I won't. That just, thinks that that these people are treated the fairest. They're not getting their medical. They're not getting, they're getting visits denied for whatever reason, which is part of rehabilitation.
So we're back at it now.
Can they hear me finally?
Nobody said otherwise.
They probably put it on mute when I was talking.
Raymond said hi, James.
Hi, Raymond, my friend from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good ministry out there. He invited both of us to come out there.
To Africa? I'll be going to South Africa.
He's
sometime.
in Libya, I believe. Do you see us do on this? If you have a loved one that would like to be interviewed, or if you'd like to be interviewed, please, if you're in the ladies group, please let Candace know. Or other people can let me know too, either one. And I'm letting Candace make those decisions.
Yeah. If you want your loved one's story heard, and you want to be interviewed, please get a hold of me or James if you're on his.
But you need to be
media.
careful what you say. We do have people from the DRC that follow us.
Yeah.
Boy, last time they knew everything we posted, every video we did. So I had to start combing my hair. And also we're gathering money for Dairy Queen. So we have a Dairy Queen fundraiser going on.
No, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Yes, no.
The peanut butter parfait is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you want to be interviewed.
Material for protests and for conferences. So you're talking about close to $1,000 or more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to make a donation of any amount, I encourage, people that's watching, if you can donate $5, if each person can donate $5, we'll be where we need to be.
Yes.
It's your turn to close.
Oh. So, like I said, if you have any questions or you would like to be interviewed on the show, call in, like my husband just did, or your loved one wants to, please get a hold of me or James Kronenberger. Our protest is going to be September 13th at the State House, 11 to 2. And then our reentry conference / fair is going to be October 7th, 1 to 5. Do we have the address? Do you know it off the top of your head? Well, we'll post it later. We'll have posters.
I think 755 East Whittier Street, I believe. It's in the I forgot where it's at now. Well, it's my church owns it. She'll post in the women's group. We got to do flyers anyways, but we want to get some of our speakers affirmed first.
I like how you keep calling my group the women's group.
I'm scared of the women.
You should be.
All
right. Well, we are going to close for now, but we will be back again next Sunday evening, 6:00. And thank you for